Hey guys, today I have something new for you. We're going to be reviewing the AltaLabs AP-6 and AP-6 Pro. And we're also going to be comparing these to the Unifi U6 Lite and U6 Pro. What mounting brackets these come with, how simple it is for an end user to set that up. We are normally using the Unifi devices on almost all of our offices for the past few years. Very familiar with the setup on them, very familiar with the software side. But these AP-6s are going to be something new, so I'm looking forward to seeing what they turn out to be. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is just open these up and take a look at them, see what they look like, see what they came with. So we'll open this one up. This is the AP-6. So right off the bat, you can see it's more of a ovular shape. It's as opposed to the Unifi round ones. It's about the same footprint as a U6 Lite is. Slightly wider, but not much different overall. I'm gonna go ahead and open up the AP-6 Pro as well. So pulling these out of the boxes, when you look at them side by side, they look exactly the same. You really can't even tell the difference between them. When I'm holding them though, I can definitely feel that the AP-6 Pro is significantly heavier. But when you flip them over and look at the back side, they're also nearly identical, so it would be hard to tell which one you had mounted on the ceiling. Unifi U6 Pro, they're all generally in the same range, but you can see the U6 has a larger footprint. Okay, so we've got our mounting bracket for the back of these. Little quick start guide. These are your mounting screws for it. And a little metal bracket, looks like to be mounted to a ceiling grid. And for the AP-6 Pro, got a very similar mount for this one as well. A little more in-depth quick start guide on this one. Take a look at that later. Same screws and the same grid mounting. Looks like it's pretty straightforward. You've got your screws, mount them together, slap the AP onto it and lock it in place. Comparing this to the Unifi, I'm gonna grab those. I've got them on the side here. Unifi U6 Pro has this metal bracket. This one you just bolt it up to the ceiling and then the Unifi slaps in and locks into that. Similar system for the U6 Lite. You have a little bracket, you screw it up to the ceiling and you lock it right in place. So the AltaLabs AP-6 is gonna run you $139. The U6 Lite is gonna run you $99. The AltaLabs AP-6 Pro is gonna run you $179. U6 Pro is going to run you $159. So as you can see, the AltaLabs AP-6s are a little bit pricier than Unifi, so I'm curious to see what sort of differences I see in the speeds or anything noticeable difference between the two. I'm not gonna go in depth with data sheets for all of these, but we will have a blog post below if you take a look at the link in the description. Yeah, this is not necessarily designed for like ceiling rafters like this. The bracket is a little bit wider than the rafter, and so the screws don't reach all the way. And so I'm gonna see if I can steal one from the Unifi boxes and try to use that same screw. It's the same thread pattern, so it does screw in. So we'll see if that works. Maybe that's a testament to their kits coming with the right screws, or at least more well-equipped because they're longer. I will give them credit though. I do like the threaded pattern on the metal bracket that came with these, as Unifi includes some really tiny nuts that you have to screw into and put on the backside. These ones, you just point them up and screw them right into it. So kind of a combination of the two would be perfect. Yeah, and we got a light. Boom, slapped it in. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and mount the Unifi U6 Pro up, just so we can compare what that mounting system looks like. I wanted to show off this kit because this is what comes with the U6 Pro. It's quite a bit more comprehensive in my opinion, with a lot of different types of screws and everything compared to the AP-6 Pro. If you're comparing the AP-6 to the U6 Lite, the kits are pretty similar, but the U6 Pro definitely has this going for them. All the options you could really want. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and put up this U6 Pro. The Unifi kit comes with a few different things here. One of them is the round back plate, which you can put on the back of a ceiling tile. You can put it on the back of this, for example, which is what I'm gonna do now. That way I have something I can screw to, kind of similar to what the AltaLabs had, that little metal bracket. It did more than just fine to hold this up, so pretty similar, really. The main difference, and this is one of my complaints about Unifi versus what I did with the AltaLabs one, is it has these tiny little nuts that go on the backside, and for them they had this threaded into the metal bracket, so I would just thread this right in here and just screw it in, which was super easy. This one I have to line this up with the back. It's super easy to drop and lose, especially when you're on like a busy job site. Okay. Looks like 2 screws will just more than enough hold us up there. and you line it up. So it's a little tricky because you have this little cavity right here where the cable plugs in, and that lines up with the cavity on the bottom of this bracket here. The annoying thing with Unifi with that is you have to take your mount, line it up just right, and then twist it off, lock it in. This one was a lot easier in one way because all I had to do was line it up and then just slot it right in. So it's a little bit more intuitive. We'll see how long this takes me. Sometimes it's a minute just to line this up right. There we go. You don't really get an audible click with these ones, but it's definitely in there. I'm gonna go ahead and plug in the AP-6 Pro as well while I'm going to adopt the other one. That way I can get them both online. I didn't think it would be necessary to mount both of them since we know it mounts the same way. So let's go ahead and jump on the computer and see what the adoption process looks like on the web. I'm gonna go ahead and pull up the AltaLabs web portal, which allows us to adopt and manage APs. Just created myself an account and set up my email. From here is where they said that you should be able to adopt your devices. I click on network, boom, both of them are already right there showing up. That's pretty impressive. Hit setup and setup. You can see one of them is my Pro and then the other one is the AP-6. So after hitting setup, it says connected. I can name each device. Looks like we can perform, oh, it's still loading stuff. Cool, so it's showing us like different loads. We've got our IP addresses located there. It's got our IPv6 address listed too. That's really cool. Got your MAC address. Let's see what else this offers. No devices found, so I'm guessing that's something, other devices besides the WAPs. Wi-Fi. Let's create a new Wi-Fi network. Let's call it AP-6 testify. Set a password. That's cool. It lets you set multiple passwords right here. So if you wanted to add different Wi-Fi passwords for the same SSID, you can. Okay, and so then it looks like they use colors for like grouping your wireless access points. All in all, this looks pretty basic. Let's see what the advanced settings tab has for us. We can choose our VLAN. You can turn on WPA3, which is really cool. I know a lot of things don't really support WPA3 at the moment, so I'm not going to go ahead and check that yet. But that's, of course, the benefit of 802.11ax. I'm taking my Net Plus exam, so I've been learning about all this stuff. So pretty straightforward. Not too many options here, but you can also, of course, customize per band. So if you want to mess with the 2.2 gigahertz network and the 5 gigahertz network, cool. Let's just save that and set that up and see what that looks like. So we have our wireless network up and running. I think. Let's take a look at these here. I'm also going to go ahead and update the firmware on these if it lets me. We're going to update that right now. Right now. Cool, another refresh of the page. Looks like we're back up. I'm going to go ahead and pull up my phone and take a look and see if I can connect to Wi-Fi. Cool, there's our network. And I'm connected. Pretty straightforward, pretty easy. Okay, so I just plugged in both the U6 Lite and the U6 Pro, and I'm just waiting for them both to populate now. I logged into my unifi.ui.com. We have ours both on our online account, so not like a local profile. So we'll see if we can get that pulled up here. One of the things I realized I said earlier was that on Unifi, you have to use the Unifi network application. I believe you still need to use that, but it does link to an online account, so you can then link it to an online, so then you can just hit unifi.ui.com. Once you do set it up, you just hit the unifi.ui.com, and as you can see here, I've got these WAPs pulled up and they're ready to adopt. Pretty similar to Alta, except you didn't have to download anything. So let's go ahead and click that and adopt that. So I've clicked adopt on those, waiting on that to update and adopt. After going through the adoption process on both of them, AltaLabs were pretty easy. You plug them in, pull up the website, and click adopt. It was pretty painless. For Unifi, I'm a bit of a fanboy, and I already have my account set up, so I have unifi.ui.com. I just plug them in, click adopt, same story. But for people that are fresh setting these up and they've never messed with Unifi before, you're gonna have a little bit of a confusion as far as how you're gonna set this up. Even from my perspective with Unifi, they have so many different apps, they have so many different websites, and so many different places that you can set things up. Overall, I would say AltaLabs is a lot quicker and immediately set up, not a whole lot different from Unifi once you have Unifi's core setup done. Hey everyone, I have been playing with the software more just to familiarize myself with it, to see what else I need to review. What I have pulled up here is the general dashboard for everything. And this is where I have all my APs adopted to. So if you look here, I've got my home-based network essentially, and then I have a remote site, which is just a completely separate network with another AP adopted to it. I wanted to see how this would apply in the MSP realm where we operate, where we have multiple access points throughout every single office that we own. And we plug them in, set them up, and we have a device management console that we remote into and control them. Unifi does that through the Unifi controller. And what we end up doing is we have a controller installed on every single server. And when it's on the server, we jump in, remote in, and can edit the access points. They do have some cloud capability with that now that they're slowly increasing with Unifi, but it is kind of limited because we've been remoting in and just having to remote into each site manually and configure those access points. It's also inconvenient because we have to deal with this whenever we stage an access point and we take over a new client or something like that. We always provide them with a new AP because we want to upgrade their wireless while we're there. We have to install the access point, configure it, set the settings, and then plug it in on site and get it all up and running. One thing that Alta does really well is this allows me to plug in an access point. I can already jump in here on the site and create a new site. So I just go into my site manager and I can add a new one. And I can basically pre-configure an access point before I even drop it off. This also makes it super nice for a remote site where I have a client that's far away and I want to configure an access point. I can literally plug it in at my office here, configure the settings on the access point, allow it to adopt the Wi-Fi settings, and then package that WAP up and mail it out to them directly. It makes it super simple for us, and I could pre-stage my wireless access points without having to do that all on site. In my home base, we have the AP-6 that we were testing. Set this up with 2 different wireless networks. So you can see I have colors tagged, and this is how you would basically assign an access point to a Wi-Fi network that you've made, is they use a color system. In this scenario, black is all wireless access points, and then blue is some of them. Of course, under this home base, I only have 1 wireless access point, but as you can see, I have tagged it with 2 colors there. So let's go over to my wireless access point settings here. So we have Wi-Fi. I made the initial AP6 testify during the video here, and I have it assigned to the standard VLAN 1 that we have natural with any network. We plug it in, and that has a password. Then I have a second password set up on here for VLAN 20. And this is just something I called it like an IoT network or something like that, where you don't want it communicating with your internal devices. So you can use the same exact Wi-Fi SSID name, so the AP6 Testify, and depending on what password you type in, you join that network with that VLAN or just the standard networks. This makes it really cool for if you have an office that has a guest Wi-Fi, they can set that up and they can just call it like, DPC technology, and that's it. That's all you need. And then you give them a different password for what network you want them to log into. So it makes it pretty clean and nice. I do find this a really neat feature, and there are applications where I would use it, but I did find that this was rather annoying for multiple reasons. One of them being, if you join the network, you don't really know what you're on, especially if you're an end user, you don't know how to check what IP address you're getting. There's no way to know. So if you have a device that's connected to your Wi-Fi, you don't really know what it's connected to. It just says the name. So I ended up splitting these off, and I wanted to create another one. And I just used one of our existing VLANs at our office, which was VLAN 10. And so then I created a separate Wi-Fi network that strictly uses the VLAN as its default password there. And then I tagged that with the blue group. So there's a lot of customization that goes behind this, and it's a little bit more fleshed out than I first thought, as just off of my first opinions there. Now, the one thing I've noticed is they have this filter option in here, which is a pretty cool idea. It allows you to filter applications or specific websites. You can put in the domain here. See, I tried yahoo.com, and what it does is it blocks you from accessing that website, right? So you just can't hit that. The annoying factor with this is it applies it across the entire site. So you can't restrict this per Wi-Fi network. Of course, we have plenty of other methods of filtering stuff, so this is really not important to me, but it is a feature that they offer, but it's very minimal application for it, because then now you're blocking, let's say, for example, yahoo.com. We're blocking that on both the AP6 phone VLAN and the AP6 Testify network and the other VLAN that's attached to that AP6 Testify network. Maybe you'll find an application for it. But I would like to see that fleshed out more, because it's super nice and easy to have this built into the manage console, to have just something you could easily put in here like, hey, people hitting facebook.com, boom, just throw it on the Wi-Fi network and you block Facebook.com. This also makes it easy for people that don't have all those management opportunities like we do. We use a lot of DNS content filtering. If you don't have that as an end user at your home, or you're just using these WAPs, it provides a pretty good functionality just built into the system here. And this about covers my experience with the AP-6 wireless access points. I really like them. They're very quick and easy to set up out of the box, and the management console is pretty fleshed out with a lot of features. I could definitely see this growing and improving on this. They have a lot of potential of things that they can improve, and just built off of what they already have. The fact that you don't even need a controller on site is very useful. You just plug in and it's a plug and play application essentially. This makes it really appealing to me because I can just plug this in, pre-stage the device, and send it to my clients. Overall, I would definitely recommend this product. The price point is a little higher than the Unifi products as you've seen, but it comes with the benefit of accessibility and ease of use that goes behind this. I'm really excited to see a new competitor in the market for wireless access points. I think Unifi has gone unchecked for quite a while now, and they definitely need some competition to help them push their product further as well. So I'm really excited to see what they do with this and how they grow into their capabilities here. I will be keeping an eye out on their future products, and we'll probably be bringing those to you as they come out. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure you like and subscribe this video, and we'll see you in the next one.